My name's Mike. I host your Dark Companion. And I want to thank you all for joining us on patreon.com. And also, do check out the Sunset Lounge because there's all kinds of good things going on there, such as the Ingle Angle, a weekly combination of commentary on sports, entertainment, pop culture, family, with Mac Ingle of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Mac takes a very unusual angle on things, so check out the Ingle Angle.
Nobody would have thought that I would be the one. Rhyner, sports talk.
Baseball. Oh, with the big mic. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
We got a lightning strike, boys. What happened over there, Grego? We had a little lightning strike right outside the window.
All right. Here's a tip for all these Americano League teams.
Wait, you said tip?
Yeah, tip.
Okay.
With a P.
Keep jamming.
The ticket, colon, nothing but a big Gen X jerk-off sake.
This is a cool night or what? Although somebody would hear that and go, bullshit.
I'm back, bitches.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Your Dark Companion. It is the 24th of February today, and we are all here inside the nurturing biosphere of the mothership. We got the whole crew, Shoopy, Ashley, Mickey, Becca, and I would be Mike Rhyner. And thank you for being with us today, no matter when or how you may be consuming this podcast. We are glad you are with us. One thing I like to do amidst all the fun and yucks that we have is turn a little attention every now and then to other things that are going on out there. Things that might matter along the way, somewhere down the line, a lot more than they might right now. Things that might benefit areas of town, areas of our fair burg that could use it, could use a little love, because I'm a native of Dallas and I care about what's going on out there in the city and how it's being treated by those who reside in it. In a lot of places, that's not very well. But I'm interested in those who are trying to make a difference out there, and we've got somebody like that with us today. She is Elizabeth Watley.
Yay.
She is the CEO of Forest Forward. That is a nonprofit that owns the 74-year-old Forest Theater, which lies squarely in the heart of that area of town known as sunny South Dallas. I used to listen to KKDA Soul 73 constantly, and I love that radio station for a number of reasons, not the least of which was because they knew who their audience was, and they did a better job than any radio station ever has of catering to and only to that audience. And if anybody else was out there that was along for the ride, great. They didn't care about you. They cared about their core audience, and they did everything they could to give those people what they wanted, and they used to call it sunny South Dallas. So they call it sunny South Dallas. I call it sunny South Dallas. How are you?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for doing this. This seems like a pretty major enterprise, and I want to get into what you're doing and how you're doing it. But first, tell us a little bit about how you got into this kind of thing.
That's a long story, but
well, we got time.
Yeah, we do have a little time. So I will say that it has been fun discoveries of finding out who I am and the work that I like to do. I actually started years ago at Paul Quinn College, and I transformed their football fields into an organic farm. And so that was my first taste at social entrepreneurship and really solving or attempting to solve these complex problems through social entrepreneurship. And so from there, I went to business school at SMU Cox, Pony Up, and then went on to City Square to continue my work in nonprofit. And there I got to work on the tiny homes, which are 5,400 square foot cottages that serve the chronically homeless. So in the midst of working on that, and that project wraps up, Larry James and I were looking at the purpose-built communities model, which is a neighborhood revitalization model. How do you bring healthy neighborhood revitalization to your city? In the midst of that, there is a wonderful philanthropic couple called John and Linda Halbert, and they wanted to bring arts access to the community. And so they purchased the Forest Theater and signed it over. And so from there, we worked really hard to build the purpose-built model out and use that as our anchor for neighborhood revitalization. So the Forest Theater was intentionally purchased to bring healthy neighborhood revitalization to sunny South Dallas.
Now, let's go back a little bit because you mentioned something that people are probably going to be out there wondering, what is that?
Yeah.
That's Paul Quinn College.
Yes, Paul Quinn College is the only HBCU in Dallas. It is our historically black college and university, and great school, great institution. I was there for almost 8 years, and so my formative years in my professional career was at Paul Quinn.
For those who may not know, that's located way out on
Stewart and 45.
Yeah. It's okay. So
Highland Hills.
That's that's an area of town that a lot of our listeners probably never have become very familiar with.
Yeah.
They're lost.
Yep. Absolutely.
So how did you land on the idea of revitalizing the Forest Theater? Because, I mean, as a native, you're from Cedar Crest?
I am, born and raised.
Well, when I was brought home from the hospital, I was brought home to 1723 East Elmore.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
See there?
Okay. Wonderful.
I knew we'd connect on that.
Yes.
And I spent my first 6 years on the planet over there in Cedar Crest, and I have a little bit of knowledge about that area. And I've always been familiar with the Forest Theater because, whenever you went to Fair Park to go to the fair or to go to a Dallas Cowboys or Dallas Texans game or a show at the Fair Park Music Hall or anything like that, you drove down Forest Avenue, which is now known as MLK, right?
Boulevard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm a little shaky on some of the details.
No, those are accurate. Yes,
Yeah.
Forest Avenue is now MLK Boulevard.
And to get there, you had to go by the Forest Theater. And, the Forest Theater has one of the most impressive theater marquees that you could possibly imagine.
Absolutely.
It's vertical, and it's green, and it's got forest running up and down the tower. And then on top of that, there's a little bit of a spire with a green spire with a red ball on the top.
Absolutely.
It's really cool. And to get there, you had to go by it, and I just thought it was a movie house where those that lived in that area would go to. But the reality is, in my time on the planet, the Forest Theater has been non-operational a lot more than it has been operational. Now, there was a time, and my memory of this is very, very fuzzy, but I know it happened because I have a poster of this on the other room. But they were going to make it into a music venue.
It has served as a music venue before.
And they changed the name of it. Whoever had it back then changed the name of it from Forest Theater to the Forest Ballroom.
Okay, that's a new one for me.
And they had, this didn't last very long, but I know for a fact, because I have the poster back there, the legendary group The Byrds rolled through here. This must have been in the, I'm thinking early 70s, somewhere around there. Because the Byrds rolled through there and they played a show there at the Forest Ballroom. But that's really about all I was not there that night. I wish I would have been, but I was not. But that's really about all I can tell you about the Forest Theater. I don't know what it was before that or in any time of operational year after that.
Well, that's a new fact for me, so I love that. I continue to learn more about the theater as I just am out and about in the city. But the theater was built in 1949. And so we are a Carl Hoblitzell Theater, which means we're the sisters of the Lakewood, the Inwood, and the Majestic Theater. We all have the same developer. In 1949, the theater was originally a segregated theater, so people of color had to sit in the balcony. And during that time was just a very unique time for South Dallas. That is when the highway construction of South Central Expressway began, and it completely divided and bifurcated the neighborhood. It destroyed about 1,400 homes through the construction of that highway. And when that happened, it sparked segregation and flight, people leaving the neighborhood. And so because that was such a drastic change for the community and the demographic change, that the theater shut down for about 2 months in 1956 and then reopened catering to the African American community. And so that's really when it got this new use, new spirit and soul to it. You would get gussied up to go see a film. My dad has seen films there. It was also an anchor for Girl Scout meetings, voter registration. There's been legendary performances like Gladys Knight, B.B. King, Dave Chappelle, Ike and Tina Turner, Spinderella, Vanilla Ice, The Birds, apparently. So there has been a number.
Of course, the shirt I'm wearing today to honor.
Okay, look at that. And of course, everyone knows Erykah Badu had a large connection to the theater as well. So over that time, they really did develop a personality and how it served the community. And then there's just been years and decades of open and closures. Not only has it been a music venue, it's served as a synagogue, it's been a church, it's been a nightclub. There have been a number of roles that this theater has played in the community, but there have been opens and closures. So our goal is to make sure this is the final time this theater will open and never close again. So we're working really hard on that, but an incredibly rich history. The stories that I get to hear and be part of are just wonderful. People met their wives there. I've heard about, there used to be a cry room. If you were a mother and your baby was crying, they would shoo you in there to watch the film. So a really great history. It had a very strong Jewish connection as well in population, because South Dallas was once a predominantly Jewish neighborhood. So as
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, it was incredibly rich in the Jewish history and population. And so we've been able to piece together stories and history and connecting with the community.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's good work you're doing there.
Real quick, I did want to let you know that from what I can tell, the Birds performance was June 1st of 1968.
Ooh,
1968?
That's what I'm seeing.
June 1st.
Damn, I just got out of high school then.
Ooh.
Yeah, it looks like the poster had kind of like the yellow and green and pink colorings and stuff like that.
I have to see that poster.
Yeah.
Maybe you had curfew if you were in high school.
Maybe I did.
Okay. Yeah.
So you said the highway divided the community. And as I was reading up on this, I started thinking the highway must have been 175, not South Central, but I guess.
So it was the development of South Central. And if you remember, previous to the current work, South Central Expressway would go underneath the boulevard. It would go under Forest Avenue, MLK. And that was a part of their new innovation, that you would be able to zoom through the city and not have to stop. And so that impacted the neighborhood. Not only did the highway divide the community and really anchor and spark intergenerational poverty, but there was also redlining. And so you would then take that which then became US 175, and I don't know if you guys remember Dead Man's Curve. You would go and it would abruptly turn. That is now gone. So now that particular highway was so textbook of a highway that divides a community that we are part of a federal program called Highways to Boulevards. And they took about 20 cities or highways across the country and said, you're so textbook in dividing a neighborhood. Let's turn this into a boulevard. Let's see if we can reverse that economic impact. Can we suture the neighborhood back together? And so now when you go, there is a 6-lane boulevard with traffic lights. We've slowed down to 35 miles per hour. We can cross the street. And we will be one of the first smart highways in Dallas. So they're going to track our walkability for riding bikes and how that usage is going to transform the neighborhood. So there's a lot of development happening in South Dallas right now.
You're trying to raise $75,215,000.
Yes. So when this work first started pre-COVID, and I was a brand new baby at this job, we had large financial goals, and that was to raise $75,215,000. And that was very intentional. And that was not only just the amount of money that we needed, but that's also the zip code of the neighborhood, 75215. And so the reason the zip code is so important and we highlight it routinely is because your zip code predicts your life expectancy more than your genetic makeup. And in zip code 75215 in all of Dallas County, we are the lowest at 67 years. And so that is our North Star. With this revitalization work, not only just bringing the theater together, we're doing work with the school, which we can talk more about, and as well as housing. And so we really want to change that number. You know, our zip code, which is your environment, where you're raised, where you're born, it's your community, is saying to us that you only get to live 67 years. And so that is what we're working towards.
That's amazing. That's amazing work that you guys are doing out there. How far along are you in this process? Have you been at this for a long time, or?
Oh my God, I've had 2 kids, a husband, and changed my whole life through this project. But it does sometimes it feels like forever, and then sometimes it feels like it's flying by. But when I originally started this work at City Square, it was late 2017, 2018. When we started Forest Forward and we branched out from City Square, that was 2020. So I start my timeline kind of at 2020 is really when we got our 501c3. And so we turned 5 years old this year.
All right.
Wow.
Very
Yeah.
good. Now, you seem rather young.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
To be getting into this kind of work. How did you know that this was something you wanted to do? Or what about this kind of work seemed to be right for you?
Such a tough question. The work that felt right to me was doing what I could to bring something that's so special to the community back to life. I knew that I wanted to work in the South Dallas community because when this really started and we were looking at the purpose-built model, you know, there's West Dallas, we looked at Paul Quinn's area, we looked in South Dallas, and quite frankly, the work wasn't going to originally start in South Dallas, and I said, that's great. The data says South Dallas isn't the area, but I can't be part of it because I know where my heart belongs. If I'm working on something and my heart's not into it, you're going to get not a great product. But I answer it that way that I know that my heart and spirit was there. I had no idea to even say no to what it requires to get this done. The work and the slug with the architects and the engineers and the fundraising.
God, I can only imagine.
There's no way I could have said no. I didn't know to say no. I had no idea what was ahead of me. And so remaining nimble, smart, and being able to fluctuate, and quite frankly, the role of entrepreneurship and grit has carried this through. If I had known then what I know now, I would have been too intimidated to sign up. I would have never thought I could pull this off.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool now. 2 years ago, different answer.
You've only been at this for 2 years?
Well, no, 2 years ago, I would have said a different response to that. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. What kind of challenges do you find over there in the 75215 zip code?
There's a lot of challenges. One, you know, there's the big umbrella of our life expectancy. But just as the onion of this work and pulling back the layers, it hits differently now when you hear people say decades of disinvestment, when a community doesn't receive investment from, public entities. And so for us, even in the building of the theater, our pipes are 100 years old, clay, and 6 inches around. So even if we had all this money to build it, we couldn't have a restaurant with a grease trap, flush the amount of toilets that we need to flush without this infrastructure improvement. Mm-hmm. And those cost burdens traditionally go on the developer. So that's how you're preventing development in the neighborhood. So there are a lot of things that in 75215 where decades of disinvestment show up. And it really shows how much overinvestment is now needed in that community for us to catch up. We absolutely started behind the start line on those.
Man, this sounds like such a big project. It's just do you ever feel overwhelmed by it?
Oh, absolutely. Every day, nonstop. It is overwhelming. It is eating an elephant one bite at a time. And it's so interesting because now in my visual, I have like this mangled elephant in my head. Like, oh, I've gotten the leg done. I'm going to bite into the belly a little more. That trunk is gone. But it's overwhelming. And each year I see not just myself, but my team getting better at it. So I see us growing as an organization. Not only myself did, we jump into this brand new, but my first staff member, she was in social work. We got going. We started, but we didn't even know what to hire for. So everyone is incredibly smart and flexible at their work.
You're a Bishop Dunn girl.
I am. Class of 02.
I grew up not terribly far from Bishop Dunn.
Okay.
Over there in that, larger area.
Yeah.
What about Bishop Dunn do you think did you leave there with? What do you think you got from going to Bishop Dunn?
I was a different person in high school. When I left Bishop Dunn, I had different sentiments. But now, as an adult, I have been more active. I'd be remiss if I did not say, please donate to Bishop Dunn, because one of my friends is on the board and is always like, Elizabeth, we need your help. But the one thing, I've learned quite a bit from Bishop Dunn, but what's interesting now is I've reached back to connect with them in their geography class and the GIS team to see if they can help with some resource mapping for us. So Bishop Dunn has some assets and some tools that they're going to help support us with now and even today's work.
You're also one of those who went back to school. After you got out of college and done some other things, you decided, I need to go back to school if I'm going to get to where I want to go.
Yep.
And you wound up at SMU.
I did. And I remember that because I was on the farm and it was this incredible project and I got to see my limit. I saw I was able to take it as far as I could take it. There was more information that I needed to know how to do and business practices and principles. So I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn how to be able to do more. And so I went to SMU Cox full time.
And then at City Square.
Yes.
What happened there for you? What did you learn there?
Oh, City Square taught me about friendship and relationships in this space and working with people as an adult and a grown-up.
They always say it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Oh, my God. And now I'm such a nicer person for it. Such a nicer person for it. But City Square had friendship in their mission statement. And I always used to think, like, why would someone put friendship in their mission statement? But working with Larry James and his sentiment and relationship with our unhoused neighbors in the community, and also just the relationships that were needed to be able to succeed in this kind of transformative work, the number of people that you have to touch in neighborhood development is astronomical. It's all the way from the residents, all the way to the city manager or your council representative. So relationship and friendships management, I learned a lot about.
Now, your mother was a criminal defense attorney.
She was.
Very high achiever. Is that where you got this inner drive from?
You know what? Yeah, it is. It really is. The work ethic of being able to sit and watch her put on Perry Mason and just work hours and hours and hours is exactly where I got that from, to be able to sit and have fun doing it. Like, I realized, oh no, everyone doesn't have fun working? No, this isn't cool to sit in your room and put on, Law and Order and just go. This was pre-kids, by the way. So, yes, absolutely work ethic from my mother, for sure.
And your dad,
yes,
was quite accomplished too. Tell us about him.
That's where I get my spunkiness from. So my dad was also an entrepreneur, and he loves hearing about the Forest Theater because he also grew up in the neighborhood. So my dad grew up on Reed Lane in sunny South Dallas before he moved to Cedar Crest, which is now my childhood home. And so he often iterates over and over and over again when he talks to me about how important this project is to the community, and for people like him, and how much weight is on it. Because to your point, some people remember it closed more than they do open. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of symbolism attached with this work and a lot of pressure attached with it. But my dad is a businessman. absolutely. He's like, Elizabeth, read the documents, review these things. So absolutely had a good foundation with my parents.
You know, over there in Cedar Crest, there is a theater over there, the Crest Theater.
Yes.
I'm assuming that still stands, right?
It's not, the Crest Theater wasn't in unless we're talking about two different buildings here, but wasn't in the Cedar Crest like neighborhood. It was more down almost towards South Dallas. Unless, which building are you just referring to?
I'm thinking the one I'm talking about was on Lancaster Road. You know, that big shopping area
Okay.
that they had there?
Yes. So that wouldn't be deemed Cedar Crest, but I know exactly what that was about, the Texaco.
Probably.
Yes,
It's
I
been
know
a-
exactly
been a
what
long
theater.
time.
I know exactly what theater we're referring to. Yes, that is gone. That is gone. That was in a shopping center, the Crest Theater. That was a long time ago.
Looks like demolished in 2008.
Yeah, long time ago. And even
Sorry to break
before
this to you,
then,
Shoopy.
I don't think it was open even before then. Even
It
with
doesn't look
being
like
torn
it.
Down. Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
closed and laying empty for several years. It was demolished in 2008.
Okay, somehow I got it through my head that you were doing some work at the Crest Theater too, and I thought, well, that's really cool. That place needs a little sprucing up. And yeah, I guess
No.
now you could say that, couldn't you?
No, but it's so funny that
Be your next project.
I'm like accidentally becoming known as like this theater girl, and I'm like, this will never happen again. This will never become a thing.
What's fundraising like? I mean, you go around, you ask people who have money
Yeah.
for their money. Mm-hmm. And that's always been really, really hard for me to do, and really, really hard for me to understand just how people do that.
Yeah. It when I started, there's a few roles. Even if someone was like really recording history, and all my job interviews, even at City Square, I was like, I will do anything as long as I don't have to fundraise. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. Even with the theater, it never really dawned on me that I have to fundraise, because that's how new we started out this project. And I don't like asking people for money, and I don't want that to be the topic of conversation and how we build a relationship. But here we are. And so what I've learned from that is, one, be myself, and that a lot of the funders that support this work want to see it happen. So it's not me asking for some big handout, this piece of charity. People are making an investment into the future of South Dallas and the people that are there, and that changed things for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have to bring people around to the idea of this?
It's coming along. Now, if you could imagine me, if you think I look young now, imagine me like 6-7 years ago, like, hey, yeah, we're getting $75 million. Come on over. But now the tune has changed a little bit, seeing the progress. And so shout out to the Hoblitzell Foundation. They were our first $500,000 investment into it. And you know how everybody's like, when you're fundraising, you need a first in. No one's going to give unless you've got a first in, but who's going to be your first in? Like, how do you make that happen? So Katie Robbins and the Hoblitzell Foundation were catalytic, in addition to John and Linda with the acquisition of the theater.
Do you remember going over to the Forest Theater, right as this project was getting off the ground, and taking a look at it and a look at the surrounding neighborhood?
I do.
And if you do, what did you find?
So at that time, the theater portion was completely abandoned. No electricity, no running water, but the retail strip in the front had a few businesses still there. Across the street was the liquor store and at the gas station at the time. And so through some dedicated funders and fundraising, we've acquired the liquor store that was across the street, and we're transforming that into our admin offices. So it's been great work to be able to remove another liquor store from the community.
Is this the 24/7 booze shop?
That was it. That was it. We've got the sign to prove it. And and the gas station came down without us, but we were able to acquire the land and do some environmental remediation there.
Now the gambling house was also involved in
The
this sort of
gambling
thing.
house, yes, we have quite.
I just want to give people an idea of what we're doing. What
I
we're looking
appreciate
at
that. Yeah, the gambling house again. It was another one of those. It was a 30-year-old gambling house. No one thought this was going to happen. I love when Dr. Flowers gets excited about something, because that's when you know you're doing something right. And it was heavily connected to a elected official. And so they were incredibly savvy on, they were just incredibly savvy during the whole time of the acquisition. So it was very important that we were able to have a funder to support the initiative. And we were able to acquire the gambling house, the 30-year-old gambling house, and it no longer exists. And the school was excited. I mean, I had no idea of how important that was and how excited people were to see that go.
This is Elizabeth Watley of Forest Forward. She is the president and CEO. She is trying to bring the Forest Theater back to life, and we'll have more in just a second. But first, if you like what we're doing or you don't like what we're doing, this is stuff we need to know. This is stuff we want to know. And I'd appreciate it if you would let us know. You can reach us via chat under the community tab on the Patreon page. There, we're patreon.com/YourDarkCompanion. We are also all over social media. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at just regular old Your Dark Companion there. Facebook, we are Your Dark Companion. On X, we are at YDC_DFW. Tell your friends, tell your family. We are out here on Patreon, Spotify, and now you can catch special episodes of YDC and What's on Mike's Mind on YouTube. There you can find us at the Old Gray Wolf 16. Remember, YDC and the Sunset Lounge are now free. Just click on the free member button at the top of the Patreon membership page to join and enjoy our regular shows for free. Also visit patreon.com/sunsetloungedfw and patreon.com/YourDarkCompanion for other fun, interesting, and informational posts. Our guest today is Elizabeth Watley of Forest Forward, and she is trying to revitalize the Forest Theater out in the heart of sunny South Dallas. If you've ever been to Fair Park, and who hasn't been to Fair Park around here in our Fairburg, you've driven right past it. You may not have noticed it, but it has been there, and it has been sitting empty for a while, and now Elizabeth is trying to bring it back and do something with it. Do you have any idea or any thoughts as to exactly what that something may look like once it's done?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've got the drawings and the plan and the permit for it. So we have a permit. We have started construction on this. So the building was originally 30,000 square feet. It is expanding to 66,000 square feet. You may remember that there was a retail strip component in the front. That is being transformed into 13,000 square feet of an arts force hub. And so that's basically workforce training through art skills development for our students and our residents. Excuse me. And from there, we're going to restore the historic lobby. We've expanded the stage so we can have industry standard performances. We will be able to hold about 900 to 1,000 seats of full standing. The insert main concert hall is complete flexible seating. So if you want an event all standing, all seated, you can do that. You can have date night, cabaret. So that's exciting. And then we're also putting on a 200-seat studio theater, which will then also be flexible and hold smaller performances. And then something I'm very excited about is we will have a rooftop in sunny South Dallas, so you can see all of downtown and all of Fair Park, right behind the newly illuminated marquee. And this is the first time that tower that you described, which made me so excited, that will be the first time it'll be illuminated in over 50 years. Have you ever seen it lit up?
I have.
You have?
I have. It's impressive.
Trick question. The word forest, did it illuminate white or green?
I think white.
Ooh, dun, 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 dun. Okay.
No.
So everybody thinks it illuminated white. We were able to take down the bulbs from the tower as we're going through this construction process, and they got the neon to light back up, and it illuminated green.
Really?
Ooh.
Embarrassing.
But we think that was, well, no, we think it might have changed in the 70s, but we don't know. So we've gone through, but the current neon that was up there that we were able to light back up was green for the word forest. And the ball is red. And we've got some yellow outlines to it. But I like the white color too.
Where did you grow up in Cedar Crest?
Kent Street, right by the golf course. And so years ago, if this was before the fence was around the golf course.
Yeah.
And there would be a little creek. I would climb into that creek, and if someone lost their golf ball, I'd charge them $1 to get it back.
Genius.
But I would go and play.
Boy,
and-
what a hustler.
yeah. My dad called it entrepreneurship. Yeah.
I'd call it that too.
Yes. So the golf course did not have a fence at that time, and that was my playground. That was all the time. I would just be running around on the golf course, playing in the creek, and that was the park for me. Yeah.
I remember looking out, my mother holding me up and looking out the kitchen window, and I would see Illinois running back there.
Yeah.
And the golf course right across it. And I was wondering what was going on out there. How could they have a place that was so, green and everything and so perfect looking amidst, a city. And I used to be amazed by that golf course. It's really cool that it's stayed open.
Yeah.
All these years.
Well, what I found out just being an adult now and speaking to people, it's one of the best courses that we have here in the city. People love going to play golf at the Cedar Crest Golf Course. So I'm always like, yeah.
So do you have meetings every day with people you're trying to get involved in this?
Yes. Every single day. Every single day. I am meeting with someone to tell the story or get part of it or activate someone, but we work incredibly hard on this.
Yeah, I mean, it just listening to you talk about this and reading about you and reading about what you're trying to do here. Man, you talk about a 24/7 hustle.
It is. And, I didn't even realize how impressive the timeline was that we've been able to move. And still, I started looking at other projects in comparison. But from where we started, I mean, goodness gracious, I can't even tell you how reading these drawings and going through schematic design, like there's just no type of way to prep for that. But, we have assembled a really good team. People are really committed to see this happen. And I think that's the biggest part of it. People are committed to wanting to see this happen outside of just myself. This is not a solo mission at all.
You also don't seem like the type that being discouraged and letting things get you down is a big part of your makeup either.
Oh God,
You seem like the type that when something happens or
Yeah.
something doesn't go the way you'd like for it to,
yeah.
It knocks you for a loop for a little while, but you get back up on the horse pretty quick.
I'm going to take it. And the only reason is when we had the groundbreaking for the theater, Mayor Johnson, Congresswoman Crockett, City Councilman Adam Bazaldua literally all got out there and said, and Elizabeth doesn't take no for an answer. So I was like, well, is that what people think about me? Is that the uniform sentiment there? But also it's too late for that. It's too late to be discouraged and turn back. We are literally at the point of no return. So get discouraged, get knocked down, get back up. It's got to happen at this point.
So do you take no for an answer?
Not anymore. I mean, not for this project. I can't. We've got to get it done. So go figure it out another way. But I was like, I guess I could see how people get there because we still got to get it done.
Yeah, it's just kind of hard for me to wrap my head around exactly what you guys do and how you do this kind of thing.
Okay.
Because I don't think I have the makeup for it.
Oh, you probably do. You probably do more than you want. Well, one, it started with being very intentional and strategic. There's a full plan in addition to just bringing the theater back to life. If you heard about Baby Booker T in sunny South Dallas, the MLK Arts Academy. So that was also formed and opened in 2020. And so as we know, not only in our zip code do we have the lowest life expectancy, but when the school right behind us, we went to partner out of 1,100 students at Booker T. Washington, only 10 came from 75215. And so we know that's not because our students lack talent. That's about access, opportunity, the rigor, building those portfolios. And so we partnered with the school district, and then that is when the MLK Learning Center then became the MLK Arts Academy. And that's really important because the MLK Learning Center only used to serve from pre-K to 5th grade. It now goes all the way from pre-K to 8th grade with an arts thread. So we are the only school in all of DISD that provides that access to the arts directly from pre-K to 8th grade. It's a neighborhood serving school, which means if you live in the neighborhood, you receive priority to access and getting in. And it is our goal to absolutely infuse resources to the school and to those families. So we also provide basic needs services. So families that are facing eviction, food insecurities, pretty much anything, really, give us a call. We work with funders that support to keep them in their homes. And that's a really big deal, to be in the middle of the year and to be able to stay in your house. So, yeah.
Now, this is going to include, when it's all said and done, don't think this is going to be just a movie theater.
No.
It's going to be anything but just a movie theater. We're talking, according to this data that I read up on you,
Yes.
we're talking arts education hub, performance hall, multi-use studio, theater and community space, recording studio, cafe, restaurant, and rooftop venue.
Yes.
Ambitious.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all drawn. It's being built. We've got a recording studio, podcast studio, so we can have residents and students be able to activate shows and voices like this. The cafe is going to be a great surprise for everyone. We will have coffee in South Dallas. I don't know what it's like. Maybe people think Black people don't drink coffee, but we will have a coffee shop. So that is very exciting to be able to bring to light and to life. Yeah, the recording studio, the new performance studio, the 200 seat, it is a full restoration and expansion.
That's big.
Yes.
That's a
big.
massive project.
Yes, and we'll have an outdoor plaza. And we've been able to work with the city of Dallas to Harwood no longer crosses through MLK, so we will be able to use Harwood as a pedestrian pathway for our students. So that will no longer have car access, so students can traverse safely straight from the school to the theater.
I'm gonna have to drive out there and take a look around.
Yes, please do.
It's
Field
been
trip.
It's been a long
to.
time since I
Yes.
have.
Yes, and the on and off ramps of 45 have changed through TxDOT, so that's a big change, as well as we've been able to work with Michael Morris at COG and get parking under the highway of I-45 funded. So that's also a big change coming. So in addition to just the theater, there is a lot of neighborhood revitalization and development that's happening through partnership or bringing other players to the table to really bring everything together.
Have you got any kind of timetable?
That question is no longer as scary as it used to be. Yes. So we are looking to open in summer of 26.
The summer of 26.
And we're on schedule.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, you're doing some good work here, lady.
Thank you. I really
and
appreciate it.
It's been really nice to meet you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me and taking the time.
Well, thank you for coming in and joining us on Your Dark Companion. We appreciate it.
Yes. Can you tell me Dark Companion?
What about it?
What is that? What's the origin there?
Whenever I need the name for something, first place I look is in Steely Dan lyrics.
Got it. Okay.
And that's where I got it from.
Okay.
It's just something that they threw in there
Love it.
in one
love
of their
it.
songs.
Okay. Well, I've got it.
But I'm really I don't think I'm particularly dark, and I'm nobody's companion. So,
Okay. I thought maybe there was a.
so it's I guess a bit tongue in cheek.
Okay. I love it. Got it.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Yes.
You want to let her give some info out where people can
Yeah, do you
find out more about the project?
Yes, please. One, follow us on Instagram. We are Instagram famous here in Dallas. We have over 10,000 followers. So Forest Forward, or at Forest Forward is our Instagram handle. You can also follow us on Facebook or LinkedIn. And our website, www.forestforward.org. You can make a contribution or a donation, which is awesome. And if you want to send a check, you can address it to Elizabeth Watley. No, I'm kidding. If you can certainly come tour and visit us at the theater. We would love to have you and show you all the special things that are happening, because it is so important that this project is fully embraced by the entire city of Dallas. This will require everyone to come and support, patron, and have a good time. So please come out.
All right, she is Elizabeth Watley.
Yes.
Check it all
thank you.
out. Good things are going on down there at the Forest Theater.
Yes.
That rooftop is the best view in Dallas.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I cannot wait. That's where I'm going to put a little desk up there. I'm going to have my coffee, and that is where you'll be able to find me. Even in the Texas heat, I've been thinking about how I'm going to stay cool up there. So Yes.
Is there going to be any kind of bar scene or nice rooftop lounge or something
You
up
will
there?
have access. Yes. We will have a rooftop pre-function room and lounge for the rooftop.
All right.
Yep. Bars
Thought it all out, haven't you?
Bars throughout, yes. Well, if you do a business model around a theater, the bars are very important.
And I can understand that.
Yes.
All right, she's Elizabeth Watley. We are your dark companion. We would love to know what you think about what we're doing here. So do let us know. We take this very, very seriously. We will be back later on this week with more Your Dark Companion stuff. Until then, bye. All right. I'm going to go take my pants off. Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.